Hello, everyone. I am Perry Antelman, and from our studios in the center of Yerushalayim today, I have here with me a very special guest, Rabbi Dov Ber Cohen. He is the author of the book Mastering Life, which I have read from cover to cover. I have been in several of your classes. I've also been to several of your lectures. In fact, in the hall just down the street at Esher Torah, on Shavuos night, I was at one of the lectures, room only, and so were the ovations. You've been so inspirational to us. I have actually handed out your book back in my town in Sharon, Massachusetts, and the book is passed around. That's why I bought over a dozen of them to hand out. And you really tackled some really tough questions, and you also helped to show a beautiful pathway of understanding the Torah more as well. Your experiences through life equipped you and gave you these tools to be able to help explain some of the hardest questions that we have. And so I have to say, tzaddik in our door here. So I have a tough question for you. In fact, when I thought about this, I said, I wonder what Rav Dov Ber Cohen would say. And this is a question that we're all suffering with. I'm going to say suffering with. And dealing with at home, at go to sleep, is keeping us up. And the question is, and it is an age-old question, it goes back even biblically as well, but what do we do when we have innocent people in a situation, and I'm going to focus in on Gaza as an example. We have a hospital there where there can be innocent people, there can be helpless people in the hospital. And underneath, there can be, let's say, the headquarters of Hamas. Maybe it's not the headquarters, but it's one where they are calculating carefully how to go ahead, chas v'shalom, and do the next massive attack, and how they're figuring out how can we have as possible. The savages that did what they did to us, to our people, just a week and a half ago, they're figuring out how can we do it again and how we can do it en masse. And if there is only one way to go ahead and take them out, and please God, there's a lot, and we have the IDF, and we have Hashem on our side, Hashem Yishmor, that we'll be able to take these people out. But what do we do with this horrible challenge of, do we kill innocent people? Okay, and God forbid, also a hostage, even one hostage. How do we go ahead and kill and take war room underneath a hospital that to be able to try to stop this? And now one thing that came to mind to me was, can't imagine what went through President Harry S. Truman's mind when he made that decision to drop not only one bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I read that it might have made it a little bit easier for him make this decision. And he says, well, these two cities there were also part of war preparations. There are a couple of manufacturing companies there, military manufacturing companies that help support those, maybe over two other cities. But the numbers were 110 to 210,000 people died. What do we do? It's ongoing. What do we do? Do we go ahead and do we take that out and, God forbid, kill innocent people, and even, God forbid, one hostage, but save perhaps tens of thousands, even more? Harry S. Truman said, well, it's for the good of man. We are going to stop the war and hopefully stop millions of people from dying by taking out a couple 100,000. So if you could please help us, because this is the problem that we're thinking about, and this clearly, the nations of the world are fighting over this.
The first thing that comes to mind is that it's amazing that it's even a question for us. It's immense thoughtfulness, compassion, and morality of the Jewish people in the Israeli army. Could you imagine, and unimaginable, that it was the other way round? Imagine Israel took its own people to use as human shields. The Bibi says, right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to line up men, women, and children, Israeli. That's unthinkable for people to do that. But then Hamas would just be like, brilliant, I'll just kill them all then. So the fact that we even are asking this question shows our kindness. The fact that in all the wars before, they put out leaflets, we're coming, be careful, in Arabic, and we're saying, move. No army on the face of the planet does that. We warn you, we want to save you. So we know for a fact that the motivation of the Jewish people and the Israeli army, as few people as we can possibly harm, which no other army would think that. They're just like, wipe out as many people as we can. It also shows what sort of people we're dealing with that do that. No other nation would use their own people as human shields. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. How do we deal with this? Firstly, I'm glad I'm not the one making the decision. I'm not speaking as a rabbi or a posek, a halachic authority. But you actually mentioned in the Torah, Abraham prayed for Sodom. Sodom was full of evil people, and Abraham, what if there are 50 people? Will you save the whole nation? Hashem says, you know what, I will. And 40 and 30, but there did actually come a point. So that shows that definitely, even if there's some innocent good people in there, we'll save even the evil people, although it didn't seem that those evil people were a threat to other people. Anyway, we saved the evil people, and then he got down to 10, 9. It seemed to me hidden that if there were 9 in there, Hashem says, I have to take out even those 9 good people. So we see there is a precedent in the Torah where when there is a greater value, then sometimes that has to be the case. So it seems at this point that if leaving these people will cause the death of hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people. And by the way, now it's very different because they've shown that they're not going to stop. It's just going to keep Israel at this point as saying, look, we just got to take them out now because it's just going to keep going. So is it okay to kill 100, 200, 300 innocent people to save the lives of 10,000, 20,000 innocent people? It would seem that we have a precedent that would be the right thing. From a spiritual perspective, Jewish mysticism, spiritual perspective, where we know that this world isn't the be-all and end-all and there is a world to come, it would seem to me that those innocent people, the purpose of sending over the bomb or something is to wipe out Hamas and save the... So if there are innocent people who are killed in that process, then they've actually given their lives for the greater good. They've actually given their life. Their life was a sacrifice.
Whether it's their choice or not.
Whether it's their choice or not, but their life, they sacrificed their lives for the Jewish people. So I believe that justice will be done. They will get whatever reward they get for being part of it. So if we're just looking at this world, then yes, it's terrible and painful. By the way, I also want us to understand there isn't no clear answer. This is a horrible, ridiculous, horrible. Given the situation and a decision has to be made, it seems like for the greater good of the greater round of people, then that might be the right decision. Once again, I'm happy I'm not the one who has to make that decision. Now, there's also maybe send in ground troops, so fewer people would be hurt, but troops are going to get hurt.
And here, the Israeli army, they are civilians. I mean, right? It is the plumber, it is the electrician, it is the gentleman who was, a social media specialist. It was a marketing specialist.
Yep.
Could have been someone programming IT, right? The citizens, the army, is that right?
Yeah. So it's being able to see a bigger picture. I remember Golda Meir said, we can forgive you for killing our children, but we can't forgive you for making us kill your children. So to understand that a decision is judged as a moral decision or not based on the motivation. So if the motivation is to help the greatest amount of people and cause the less amount of harm, we understand that sometimes harm is going to be caused, but also in the bigger, higher perspective, a Kiddush Hashem a sanctification of God's name is made when evil people are taken out, and the Jewish. Hopefully, that will bring us to a greater, bigger light.
Thank you for your wisdom. That's very helpful. Thank you, everybody, for watching this segment of dealing with tough questions, difficult questions in the time of war.